So what's up with Skinwalker Ranch? What you know about that? I've been on that for a minute. What's up with that government? Watch Joe's stuff. Tell us.
Specifically,
well, it's just like Jalani said. Jalani knew a lot about it.
No, but what part about that intrigues you the most, though, is my question.
Me?
Yeah.
The fact that it's like such a hot spot all the time. Like, there's never not been. I mean, they've recorded it even like in Indian times and like the rocks. I mean, I guess you could lie and say that like the carvings, you know, they could make that then recreate it now. But like, you know, obviously the rocks, you can see the different colors and you can test that. You know what I mean? And they've obviously done that. So, I mean, the fact that they say there's aliens, the Indians say it's cursed with the skinwalkers, which are like, I mean, it's just so crazy. And then, you know, modern, you got to think too, like, you know about NIDS and stuff, right? And Bigelow obviously had the ranch before that. You're pretty smart on it. But a lot of that stuff's still under lock and key, like what actually happened there. All of a sudden, he just resold the ranch. And so I've been watching this stuff about the guy that, you know, has the ranch now. So I've been doing research into that. But
I got a weird question. Do y'all think, like, portals exist? Or if not portals, like, do you believe like
wormholes?
Because more so
but
like what's a word? Like something could be hidden and in front of you, like almost like a force field barrier, like a mirror that you don't even know you walk past. You know what I'm trying to say? Like hiding in plain sight, but you would never know, type of thing.
Yeah,
I bet there's a lot of.
I think that's already existed.
I think there's a lot of that because, in terms of like the world being way more mysterious than we're aware of, think about other cultures that existed in time and period. If Egypt was doing crazy shit, if these cultures were sending things through time and portals and opening dimensions and things, then clearly we were tapped into some other shit, whether it was like sound resonance or, you know, frequencies that were able to create these things, because a lot of this ties into like solfeggio frequencies, where like monks were all in unison. They would be chanting.
That's what the Skinwalker's about too, is like all the batteries and all like the equipment that they're gonna use on it dies because of these frequencies are so high. But you can even get microwave frequencies. You can have headaches, and like these frequencies go so high to where you can literally think you see
sound is everything. Weapons, you use the weapons too.
So it's really crazy what goes on there. It's almost like the more they try to find out about that ranch is like when the frequencies get higher.
Yep.
It's like it's really crazy. But
it sounds magnetic.
But yeah,
kind of weird.
Well, so they did the radar scans, and it looks like they said there's an object. They either think it's a tunnel, like a structure of tunnels, like the government has, you know, like obviously because there was UFO everything. Or, you know, just, but, or it's a UFO, I'm sorry. It's either tunnels that the government made, or they think it's like a UFO shape. But it's huge under there, and it's magnetic, and it messes everything up. But what's real crazy is, like, part of that land that's on that, it's really weird the way it's shaped, because it's a basin. But the way it's shaped is, like, some of it's Native American land that we're not allowed on.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So we can't really even be there to test it. And then the other part's this ranch that has crazy anomalies and crazy things.
I've had so many fucking thoughts that just passed at once right now.
Sorry. Anyway, well, because it's so many things there.
No, because of the
it's
Indian,
so many
all that.
It's so many things there. That's what's so crazy. That's what intrigues me. It's like, if you can imagine it, it's like kind of happening there. And I'm wondering if it's like what they think also is like this technology focuses on like your fear, almost. And if there's something out there that can focus and harness your fear.
Fear is its own frequency, though.
Right, but into your own, like, you know what I mean? Like what you're scared of. Like, what's your deepest fear? Like, let's just say.
I hate to say this, but the media, bro. That's it.
Well,
you're programming fear by showing us the same shit that we think that was going to scare us all the time. You know what I mean? Like, oh, here's the case numbers. Just show us a graph with numbers that go like this. And, oh, shit.
So what would scare
Oh, don't go outside.
So what would scare you more, like making content like this, thinking it could reach the world, but really it's just monitored, like, and it never actually got past anything?
Oh, like 100%.
You know what I mean? Because that would be even crazier to be like.
I think about this when I look at my Maxwell video. I'm like, how is that one of my best videos? And should I still pull it? because my channel has nothing to do with that video I made. It's just an emotional thing that I was passionate about. So it's a weird one. It's a weird one where I consider deleting it sometime. But anyways, back to frequencies. That's the weird part about Egypt, because people are like, oh, humans and slaves built this shit. And I'm like, really? No one could levitate anything? They didn't have any technology? They couldn't just, you know, you really think that, you think these things were that heavy that took so many people to...
They are very, very heavy
That's
blocks.
what I'm trying to say.
That.
To me, it doesn't make sense to just write that off as like human slaves and they moved it and that's it. There's nothing special here. Nothing to see. Woo! It's just like another whitewash of like cover it up. Just like mounds. There's giant mounds of... In history, majority were like Italy, but there's a lot in America too. Even the Chinese build and they do like restricted lands. They build trees over these things and they cover up because humans aren't supposed to know that we were like 30 feet tall. Why would we need to know that information? That we're running through giant lakes is, you know what I mean? This information and there's skeletons and there's photos out there. You can do your own research, but people are going to be like, what? A 30-foot tall human didn't exist? Yeah, Nephilim.
We
fucking
never know.
Bible,
We never
like,
know. Yeah,
but this is all historical shit where it's like written in different cultures, different
on the walls,
different religions on how they came down in their own ways. You know what I mean? And we're just interpreting it in different languages and different religions.
I agree with you. I just think in today's modern era now, recently we've communicated all throughout the world, and I think back in the day it was kind of like we didn't communicate. We didn't have that technology to communicate. So it's like your experience with, like, you might, you know, have the pyramid and I might have a temple mound or something. But, you know, they're both obviously big archaeological sites, but yet mine is, you know what I mean? Like, to me, that's mine, and yours is yours.
Bro, and
but now we both know about it, and it's like, well, dang, who created yours and who created mine?
Bro,
we obviously had some sort of...
The only reason I'm growing my hair is for, like, my Indian lineage. I'm not even kidding. And here's what's crazy is because
Skinwalkers.
I do believe that we have like a mysticism to us, that like we were way more in touch with things, because I can look at an animal and like feel like I'm looking out of its eyes and shit. But my point is the fact that I have...
Damn, me, you both were just like, what? Wait, what? You can look at an animal and say, feel like you can look...
Is that I didn't even know that's crazy.
You can look at an animal and look through the animal's eyes?
Y'all making me feel self-conscious, but
Sorry,
I'm 100%. I'm 100% when I
wait.
say this.
Okay, say it again.
Like, I can empathize to the point where I'm literally looking at...
Me and Jalani both were like, what?
It sounds crazy.
You can look at an animal and then...
you can look through animals' eyes.
Yes.
That's pretty rare.
And this is what I'm trying to talk about. Like, this is why I have like a vendetta for like, why the fuck are we the only fucking people that have to prove our blood quantum level to say I'm a fucking Indian? Because eventually I'm forced to interbreed with another Indian, or else my lineage and my rights and my benefits and my land and my land. Nah, this is the government's way of making sure they get their fucking land back. Over time, eventually the reservations, all that shit will revert back to them. If the population doesn't interbreed and stay with other Indians, your bloodline dilutes.
Well, that's what they did.
That's insane.
That's what they did.
What other what other one are we trying to prove?
It's effed up.
Yeah.
It's fucked up.
Crazy.
But
y'all don't even know how hard it is to join my tribe. You don't even know the difficulty. It's ridiculous. And I know where they're at.
What's your tribe?
Kickapoo.
No. Oh, okay. Yeah. Nice.
It's hard to start your own tribe, bro.
Wow.
You could.
It's hilarious.
Basically a cult.
Just gotta prove it. That's hilarious. You're not wrong. My own sovereign nation out here.
I know.
Damn.
We go buy a little. We go buy a little oil town in Texas.
And it's a nonprofit. What's up? Y'all ready?
We would just start a business.
Y'all ready or what?
Let's go buy a little oil town in Texas.
You gonna let me join the tribe?
Wow.
An old ass town.
Hilarious. All we need is a basketball court. Let's live frugal, guys.
Bro, Rich, they will come.
Let's go. They will come. They will come.
They will, bro. Basketball court.
Does it work like that?
Throw a little pond and it's over.
If you build a basketball court and you're out there shooting hoops, people will show up.
Run some ads. I got you.
I promise you. You know how many people just show up and they basketball court here? And a basketball court for miles.
I'm so done. And people feel good about supporting it.
Yep.
That'd be hilarious.
And they're all like, oh, this court's cool. He's got a court.
It's a good thing.
So with the Skinwalkers.
Oh, yeah. Back to aliens.
So wait. So there was the Ute tribe and I believe the Navajo. And the Navajo betrayed the Utes. Or it might be the other way around with the Americans and forced the other ones into slavery. but they weren't, obviously they lived on each other's lands. But because they betrayed him, they cursed him with the Skinwalkers. And what these Skinwalkers are like these giant wolves. Like you said, all of a sudden you said big humans. Why wouldn't there be big animals? So they're these wolves that apparently are massive. And when I say massive, they're like the size of like rhinos, elephants. Like that's huge. So apparently the guy that owned the ranch before the Bigelow had an attack by one of these wolves.
It sounds like a shapeshifter.
Right, but it's like a person because like, anyway, it was eating a cow, and he told his son to go get the gun, and it was a .357 Magnum, which is a pretty big gun, pretty big bullet, and this thing took 5 rounds. Boom, boom, boom. And it didn't go down. And he was like, dang, go get me the 30-06.
This sounds ridiculous now.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Let's give me the rocket launcher.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, I mean, you're a rancher. I would expect you to have guns because by the time, I mean, that's why you have...
Give me the 50 cal.
I mean, yeah, that's where it gets, this is where it gets ridiculous.
I'm already out. I'm out.
So they shoot him with this gun. They shoot it with this gun, and it hurts it this time. And it's a bigger bullet. And it runs off, and so they follow the tracks up to the basin, like where those rocks are, where all the shit in the frequencies is crazy. And they follow the tracks, and all of a sudden the tracks just like disappear right at the rocks, just vanish. Big wolf tracks all of a sudden just disappear.
Weird.
Shape-shifting, like you said. It's just like weird. And then like you see so many orbs, bro. They have so many like flashing like...
I've seen orbs.
Like...
I've seen an orb, actually, I'll say.
I think we've all have, honestly, and not even realized it.
Well,
but some of us do.
The only thing I can say is like
I'm sure Jalani
has.
has.
I saw it with other people though, so that's the crazy part about my experience.
You've never seen anything like an orb or nothing flying in the sky? Because a lot of the times, I think I might have seen one. I've seen a shooting star, but that could have been an orb.
Yeah, I mean,
Or it could have been a shooting star.
It could have been.
Basically, Ken and I were. I saw some
but I
shit
seen some
hovering.
shit in the day too. Yeah, see, like
basically, this thing came down over a house, came toward us, and then darted. So the fact that something was moving that fast and like going right angle turns and then just gone like that.
The propulsion.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I don't think it's so much alien because when shit's an orb, it gives you more spirit vibes.
But it doesn't make sense physically. Like
it does.
Physics.
Though. Energy.
No. Physics doesn't make sense then.
Energy's light.
No, but propulsion, like there's a big mathematic about like if you go higher, you actually go faster. And like, but you have to, you have to get up. You have to get up.
I get you.
You have to
this
get
is
up.
why the physics doesn't make sense.
Right, but you have to get up, which requires...
It's non-existent, though, is what I'm trying to say.
Which requires anti-gravity, which like you have to obviously push against gravity.
100%, yeah.
You know what I mean? So...
Oh, the shit that I've read? Dude, the shit that me and
but we got some...
but the shit that me and my cousin have read to describe these craft...
That's just crazy, bro. I know.
Yeah, trust me. Trust me. Like, just the phrases that they use is like, oh, they know this shit's crazy, you know?
Jelani, it could all be man-made, though, right?
Could be.
I wouldn't... Here's the thing, though. Okay.
They could be working on military...
Agree.
Military
It could be.
Look, this is when y'all motherfuckers do this, this is why I got to reference history. This is why history is important.
100%.
Because I'm like, 1800s... Explain that. Did we have tech then? What about what about in ancient scriptures where they're depicting art and shit where like they came down? What about that? Like,
you mean just the actual like saucer?
I'm just saying like Indian cultures, Chinese been around forever. Like the stories of like the princess that got abducted and like was sacrificed to go to these other, you know what I mean? Like there's real stories like this. That we're like, as a human, we're like, we'll give her to your civilization, alien species. We will give this human. Like, this is real shit that was like documented supposedly in other cultures, though. We just, my point being is,
where are the aliens now, though?
Hold on, my point is that we just know American history, bro. Like, other countries have their own secretive files. You know, you know this. You know what I mean? And like, some are way more lenient and open with their public than the Americans are. So it's like a lot of this information, I hate to say is common knowledge, but if you really want to know, like you can find this shit.
Yeah, they only let out some things like you said.
And so even
I'm scared of that big ass snake because there's already been proven that there's like 5 big cultures. I don't want to say which ones they are, but I'm pretty sure we could all know like the superpowers.
Man, we can get
But
so deep.
apparently there's this big ass snake that's
can
been
get
depicted
so deep.
everywhere. You know what I'm talking about, Jalani?
Poke your stomach.
I don't know what it's called, but it's some big ass
What?
snake.
Poke your stomach because you're just chilling.
He's tired. Bro. It's late. We actually
called?
we played basketball today,
that's
Joe.
true.
I don't know if you know what that is.
Yeah, I'm
It's true.
tired.
It's
No,
true.
look, what you call it? But I don't know. Like I said, even with might not even be aliens. If you believe in different dimensions, I mean, if there's different dimensions, there's obviously you have to take in consideration magic could be real, stuff like that could be real. You know, stuff of the supernatural has to be. You know,
But is that alien though? I mean, it's alien
Well,
to
it
us
depends
because
on
we
how-
haven't
yeah,
seen it.
depends on
But
how
it's
you
not. It doesn't
look at
necessarily mean it's
the
alien.
term or definition of what an alien is, but at the same time, it could be bigger than technology. It could be a spiritual thing.
Here's
Like,
another weird one for you guys.
miracles were performed in the Bible and stuff like that. That's like magical. That's of the supernatural.
Like not in a weird,
true.
not in a weird paranoid way. First of all,
magic's real.
if people always,
That is.
the people that are most curious about this shit, I think they can agree where you're like, if aliens were real, why won't they just show themselves to me like when I like in the daytime, right? Like when I'm on a hike and my
Hey,
adrenaline's
you know
going.
why?
Like hold on,
You
when
know
I'm,
why?
when
Because
I'm
they
most,
wait till you're by yourself.
No, this
in
is
that
what
dark
this
ass
is the
room
thing.
when no, I'm just
this is
kidding.
the thing though. Is like, did y'all ever have that feeling where like I'm being watched or like I'm being studied or there's something there and I don't know what it is?
Most
because I
people
don't-
have that third eye where they know that like it's like a fear of like you feel it. A lot of people know when they're
Well,
being
that's
watched
why
by
I
something.
said the whole dimension
Dimensions.
things. Like they could be sitting in this room right now watching us, and we have no clue.
Exactly.
Because they're on a different.
What would be the purpose
frequency,
though?
a different
do you
level.
do you think that that's a real thing that there would be a purpose to even study us though?
I think
we're so fucking like dumb to be honest with
in
you.
my personal opinion,
I think we're such a waste
It
of
might not
fucking
even be a
time,
study.
dude.
I think in my personal opinion, I think it's like you said, the frequencies. I think something with death has to do with it. I think when you die, something happens with that frequency, whether it be your soul.
Because
or
you realize
something.
there could be a
But
whole
it's-
audience in
but-
this fucking room. That's crazy.
But it's almost like
amongst
that
us.
gut feeling. Like imagine if all your relatives, like let's just say this theory is true, were like they could come in this room and be like let's just say if you were to like go out there, you were gonna trip and break your leg. All of a sudden, like you're trying to go out there and you just get this weird feeling all of
Yeah.
a sudden not to go out there.
Or
And
something
because
compels you.
because you didn't break your leg. You know what I mean? Like all that frequency of that, like man, why do I feel like?
This is the guardian angel.
But
shit.
I don't know. That's just my. But
That's the
you know what I mean?
aliens.
Like you don't know. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like
That's
I could be
shit,
wrong,
yeah.
but at the same time, it's just even in death, like you said, even in ancient cultures, like they leave like like tombs to like the
I hate to
pyramids
say-
and stuff to the star tracks, and it's just like
I hate to say intuition. Does it belittle it by saying that's like your gut? You know what I mean?
But
It doesn't have to be
I think-
alien to trust yourself.
to trust your gut. I don't know. It doesn't have to be, but at the same time, like
Like, what really will make you say some shit's alien? This is a good conversation because it's like what you were saying. Where does the activity happen? You're like, oh, around the nuclear area. And why? Because it's a threat to like everyone, right? It's like, hey, you're fucking up
you're literally
everything.
just reading my mind. Go, what's the next? No.
right.
No,
But it's because you're
So,
the
Why would
the
you want to be next
implications.
to the thing that's the scare? Like, but I don't.
Here we're getting into a good talk. Here we go. Let's check this out.
Go ahead.
So, my thing is, if they are here,
Aliens?
yeah.
So they are here.
If-
This is your theory,
Yeah, like
or this is in
because
this
you
conversation?
because
Okay.
you're over here trying to be like,
I know. And I believe
why
in
can't
Star-
they do stuff? You know what I mean? I think
What do
you
you
were
mean?
kind of raising that question: is why won't they interfere? Why won't they do things? I kind of think that there's like a galactic law where it's like you can't really completely interfere in another civilization's progress. You know what I mean? Like it's really up to us to figure out ourselves, to help ourselves in order for them to like even, dude, honestly, I think there's like a whole galactic cosmic federation that we're not allowed into because we still haven't matured like as a civilization.
They're like they took the moon. That's
I'm
not even theirs.
totally serious. Like we're still operating on the most basic planetary shit. Like we're so basic fighting and killing each other and stuff. Like we haven't even began to progress toward like, okay, well, how do we get off this fucking
Why
thing?
did they come here in the first
collectively?
place?
You know, we still have world hunger to begin with.
That's the thing. I think is like why.
That's not in the question though. Is like why do we think we're
why
here
would they
first?
come here? Why would
That's the
they
better
come here?
question. Is why do we think we're here first?
Well, that's what I mean. Like, were we
Right.
brought here, or like, did the ship go like this? this is my thing about Alien. Did the ship start like this? You understand what I mean? Like, it obviously was built from the planet up. It didn't go, you know what I mean? Anything was. Otherwise, it wouldn't be out there. It wouldn't be like the aliens just floating in the ship. It obviously started from a planet, just like an Earth planet is a planet, and whatever species, human or not, created this thing.
It's both ways, though, dude. That's what's fucked up.
I don't see
because it's the same as like, how did shrooms get here? How did like how did certain things get here? Things are spores that came over time.
Everything's here for a reason. I mean, everything's used for something, but you gotta realize also, like, it's a big circle. Yeah. You know, like, it's gonna be used and then it'll be.
It is a weird concept to think like life formed with the Earth. Like what? Like it formed as the Earth was being like life. You know, that's a weird thought. As opposed to like what came here and populated this shit. What was already like, hey, what's this? Pull over real quick at this rest stop.
It'd be so scary back in the day, being like, bro, I swear I saw this thing swimming in the water. And it was huge, and it had teeth.
Oh my!
You know what I mean? And you're just like, Jalani, I'm telling you. And Jelani's like, dog, we fish this all the time. Chris, are you hungry? I'll be like, Jalani, listen, bro. I swear I saw something that was like this big with a mouth like this big with teeth. You know what I mean? People are like, nah.
Try to convince them.
Nah,
right?
Yeah. Nah.
Straight up. Yeah, this is how these myths came though, like Loch Ness monster and like things in the water. You know what I mean? Where it's like, what the fuck swallowed them? Like, y'all know about the megalodon? Isn't that nuts? It's like the world's largest prehistoric shark.
My grandpa, but I'm gonna lose this thought. This is just like, I remember one thing he told me a long time ago when I was really little, and this was like back in like, I don't know, the 80s, right? He said, and he was probably born in like the 20s, and he said, you know what's real crazy? He's like, what if it was like, you know, back in like the Viking times, they told him that Greenland was where they lived, and Greenland was actually full of ice. And Iceland is actually, like, that's how it is now. Yeah. You hear about Iceland, you're like, oh, that shit's full of ice.
Just to throw them off.
Iceland, you're right. Iceland is actually beautiful. Yeah. And Greenland is actually the one closer to, you know, yeah, exactly. And it's just like, what? So it's like misinformation that you totally wouldn't suspect unless you actually were living in Greenland, or you know what I mean? They're like, oh, don't go to Iceland. Oh, and I'm like, damn, how'd you know about this? You know, and it's just like, wow.
Humans been deceiving each other since the beginning of time, though. Right?
Hey, I heard about this. This Greenland. Yeah.
Damn.
That's effed up.
It's fucked up.
Get on a big boat and be like, we're about to go find this island.
That's
and it's
real.
Nothing but ice. And you just get stuck out there and you can't get back.
Damn. What's up with you?
He's listening to Viking Tales.
He's like, I was on the last pod. He's like, it's on y'all. But what about aliens? What do you really want to know about that?
If they're real?
If they're real?
It's deeper than that. They've already revealed themselves to us. We just can't wrap our heads around it.
This is the crazy question. Is like,
we're in a simulation.
It's not if they're real. It's the better question is, do you believe we're the smartest thing in the universe? Yes or no?
Compared to what?
Are we the smartest thing in the universe? Because that's what we think we are as humans. Because if we're not the smartest thing, then that implies that there's aliens. There's something else out there.
Well, I don't see anything else.
So does that mean we're the smartest thing? Because that's what my brother thinks. My brother told me that.
I mean, I'm just being honest. Like, I don't see anything else taking over.
But this is the same argument people make for God, though.
What about that?
You know what I mean? You get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah,
God is more faith.
But so are aliens. This is what I'm trying to say. It's like you can't see, but people believe. You're trying to say, I haven't seen it from what I can believe. I haven't seen it. It's the same thing for God, bro.
It's not necessarily that. I used to believe in it more.
But people make this a religion. People make this a religion. Like, dedicate their whole life.
Yeah. No, like, I used to believe in it more. And, like, you know, like, I really did. But then now it's like, the whole point is to be, like, what's the point of staying on Earth if we can reach other planets? You would want, you know, obviously the Earth is going to run out and die.
It's not so much that, it's more like we have to survive.
So you're telling me
we have to survive as a species.
My point is aliens.
You think our focus is keeping the Earth alive?
Well, then why are the aliens coming? What are they doing?
You think our focus?
So do you think
aliens aren't
you're missing my point then? So are the aliens just cruising by being like, hey, we just want to make sure you fucks didn't blow up? Like, or so then what are they just being like, oh, we're just gonna share some technologies with them until they're mature enough?
Oh, this is a good one.
I'm asking.
You just got,
like,
you just took me into a good one.
Because it doesn't. Because remember earlier, why wouldn't they try to control every planet?
Remember earlier, you were focused on the wrong presidents.
No,
I was telling you that because you were talking about a different president, and I was like, no one ever asked about like Truman. You know what I mean?
I'm confused.
You were
anyway. Okay, yeah. That's just okay.
But just like no one ever asks about the other presidents who were involved in the treaties that were signed. Like, do you know about the Grenada Treaty?
Oh yeah, okay.
You know about like Eisenhower and stuff. Like, this is what I'm talking about when the aliens first came and they first revealed themselves, because there has been multiple. There's been multiple accounts in history where they come and they're like, "Yo, in the future, there's gonna be more benevolent people that are coming, and they're gonna offer you this shit." But check this out. Like, they basically tried to make peace early, and then we were basically like, nah, fuck this. Like, not about it. Still, later, we take the tech anyway. So the point is, like, the whole point of all this has been, like, don't have wars, don't fight, but we'll give you this technology. But the thing is, like, they're not obligated to show anybody anything, dude.
No,
it's not. Like, if we're keeping the planet safe, it's just like, please just don't blow us up and you can do what you want with this shit.
If there is an alien species, I don't think they care about the same things.
What?
Like, I really don't. I really don't. Like, even if they were. But here's my thing. Here's my thing, right? Like, Jalani, go ahead, Jalani. We finally got it. That's what I'm saying.
I hate to
I don't know. Look at the timestamp of how just time and this line of things work with the universe. What if the people that brought that shit to Truman were actually people and they weren't humans? They just were in the future and had technology.
You see all those
able to go back in time, bro.
I wish y'all were right, bro.
You've seen all them lights flying above.
I know, but I've just studied this too much. I've just studied this too much.
They're people from the future or some shit. You know, that's look at the time thing too.
I know a lot of people that saw that one guy that
all I have to say is Roswell. That's it.
The incident?
You just never know.
The one that was a weather balloon?
There's 2 crashes there.
The weather balloon?
Yeah.
It's real convenient. It's real convenient now to say that that's a cover up though.
Well, I mean, the newspapers had all the documentation. You can look up the Battle of LA. Like, this was back when newspapers weren't bought. Like, they were printing this stuff like next day, like, oh no, and now it's like censored completely.
So you're saying at the time,
this is before news was censored.
During the time that happened, the incident, you're telling me the person that actually witnessed it wasn't advised by somebody to be like, hey, this was, because this is what he claims now. He was like, just say it was a weather balloon.
Yeah, I agree.
So if that's your story, you know what I mean, then that's all you know. That's what you believe. If I'm reading a newspaper and I didn't witness it, that's what I'm going to believe, even though you really know the truth.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I mean? But
misinformation,
now years later,
everything.
You're going to tell me, oh, by the way, I had to lie. And it's like, well, you really, you know what I mean? I'm like, well, wait.
Check this out.
It doesn't make sense.
If you are the Alphabet Boys, why are you going to backtrack
Alphabet
50, 60, 70, 80 years later, all your life? Bro. Yeah, I was just trying not to get words picked up, but it's cool. But my point is, like,
for our other fans out there that don't know.
So my point is, like, why even expose your hand like that? You know what I mean?
You don't. That's why, like,
I don't think aliens are real.
This is okay. So
I'm telling you, bro.
Well, look, I'll put it like this: they obviously cared enough to make organizations that looked into this, so that's 100% accurate. But who's also to say that I can't just call in and make hoax, or or I could do the other thing that people say, like, oh, I saw humans climbing into that, and it is the government. Maybe it is.
Oh, for sure.
Well,
now.
Bob Lazar even said he worked on that.
They're about to use
completely.
They're about to use aliens for propaganda.
Here's my best line.
They're not real.
It's been 80 years.
Don't believe in that shit.
Since rocketry.
Russia was actually first in.
But all I'm trying to say is people are like, we don't have anything better since then, man. Technology's just not. Oh, in the 80 years, nothing. Government ain't working on no projects, trillions and black budgets, and we don't talk about any of these.
So you're thinking there is you're making the case for me for
I'm just saying there's both. I'm saying there's both. I'm saying there's agendas. There's probably treaties. There's agreements that have been made. There's shit we don't know
there's
about.
just
They're
a lot
working.
of-
They're working toward other things
I
that we
think
don't know
there's just a
about.
lot of, like Jalani said. I like the word like magic, like different like there's just stuff that we
here's the
don't
scary
understand.
part.
But if it gets around each other, it can lift these big stones and create.
Let's flip
like,
it.
I really think
Hold
like
up.
you know what I mean. Like
Let's
who's
flip
to say
it.
it's alien?
Let's flip it.
Yeah,
Hold
that's
up.
it.
So, if that's the case, magic.
I don't know. I'm
Hold
just
on,
saying.
hold on.
That makes
I'm
more
playing
sense
devil. I'm on your side now. I'm playing devil's advocate now.
I think
I'm on your side
magic
now.
has something to do with time.
But if that's real, then we're implying like rituals are real also, and people.
Maybe they,
Right,
hey,
no,
and maybe,
rituals
and maybe,
are
yeah,
sacrifices.
Maybe that,
sacrifices are real.
that's what
you
we
have
think
to
the
do.
Skinwalkers and the El Dorado.
You have
This
to-
is
that's
so
real.
weird to
That's
me.
real.
This is
That's
weird to me
real.
that y'all
That's
can
real.
believe in that,
But what
but you're
do you-
questioning the other shit. That's why it's weird to me.
No, but
You know why we're questioning the other shit? Because that shit actually happened. This other stuff is like you saying, alien, you've seen this. I've never seen it. And I'm not saying like,
I get you.
You know what I mean?
But I'm
Like,
saying culturally things have been documented. That's it. That's how I form my opinions. Off studying other cultures and history. That's it.
there's definitely been way more mystical magic stuff than alien. Yeah, you could say the flying, and all.
They're almost one and the same. That's why
They
I'm
are.
confused. That's
No,
why
I
I'm
agree.
confused
I
how
agree.
y'all
I
can
know.
believe in
That's-
it.
that's why I
that's-
say
yeah.
I'm too high and tired.
This
for
is why I'm
We're
going
getting-
back and forth with both of
we're
y'all
getting
because
too deep.
I think that they're one and the same, and I'm trying to show like you guys kind of do believe in it and you don't realize it. You know?
Believe in aliens?
Yeah, you kind of
believe
do.
in
But I don't know if
aliens,
it's
bro.
an alien,
It's
though.
possible, yes, but I don't believe in that shit.
And it's sad to like degrade it to like something like alien just means unexplained at this point. You know what I mean? It doesn't really. It doesn't
like,
really
you could
mean.
you could find some
Yeah.
new bacteria on Mars.
It doesn't mean entity
Yeah, it's like-
anymore. It's just like this is something I don't understand. It's alien.
I'm
you
telling
know?
you, man, the universe is too.
It's
Too
it's
small.
Too smart. It's
Too small. It's
and
just
creative,
us.
though.
It's
smart for
just
us to wrap
us.
our
Yeah,
head
yeah.
around.
That's the
Nobody can figure out
that's
life.
the answer.
Nobody,
Yeah.
everybody's trying to figure out, but can't
That's-
nobody figure it out.
that's the craziest
It's
thing.
the universe, bro.
The universe
why-
is mass. Like it's.
You know what you just
so
said,
big.
though?
It's bigger
you
than
just
big.
said-
bro.
Hold on.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's bigger
you
than
can't-
big. Yeah, no, it's like-
But
It makes
what,
no
what you
sense.
just said though is that it's knowledge.
It is
Because that's
though.
what people are trying to figure out, right? Is knowledge. They're trying to figure
Of
out
the universe.
information.
That's the answer.
So
Yeah.
what is the thing
You-
most
you know,
suppressed?
you-
What are they not teaching us?
I think the universe.
Answers.
It just- it
if
just
you
goes
really
to
wanna
show,
tap
like-
into the universe, you got to tap into your own conscious.
I just
bro.
think it's another
It's that
example
deep.
of
That's what
like
people
knowledge
understand.
being
That's why it's-
the way out to everything.
It's over our heads. Like you got to tap into your conscience, bro, and you can see the universe. You have to.
You see aliens.
That's
too,
why
right?
they meditate. That's why you have certain people meditate and shit like that, bro. It has something to do with your brain, bro.
They say that's
it has something to do with your conscience.
It is weird that you say
as
that
far as
because
tapping into the universe.
a lot of people that meditate and a lot of other
Well,
stuff
you-
like that,
I'm pushing my brain.
lose. It's not that they lose, but they value like themselves and then time more. Like it's not like about possession.
It's
It's
'cause-
more about like spirituality.
It's 'cause it's
and,
a
like,
shortcut.
Yeah,
but it's
and
good.
just
But it's good.
understanding,
But
like,
like
time.
you really open your mind to like what's really important: food, water. It's like I don't need this car. I don't need a phone. You got like look at the. You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
the monks can do amazing things, man.
That's like
Them fools
even-
can break things with their voices and their knuckles, and they're like just concentrating with that much focus in their mind. Like you just said, Jelani, like literally, just imagine doing one thing for 10 years.
But that's the thing about time.
Bet you become
though.
great at it.
Time was like, time in a sense was created for society, but time, who says time has to exist? All you know is day and night. You know the seasons change, but at the same time, it's going to be like that for the rest of your life. Like we're keeping count of that for what? Like you're literally, what are you making the timeline for?
That's what I said that in Bible time when people were like, "How is he 1,700 years old?" It's like, well, how do
Yeah,
you
and
know?
then
How do you
they-
know it might have been by moon?
yeah.
So
And
you are
and they did
1,700
the ages
years
like
old.
that.
That's what I'm saying. So then
Moses was like 900 years. Like yeah.
maybe it was. He survived 900 nights. You know what I mean?
That's the thing.
as a
You just never
king,
know.
as a king or
Time.
something, that'd be crazy.
Well, me and Barrick, we talked about it because he's Jehovah's Witness, and I have nothing. I don't know a lot about it, so I was like asking him stuff, and I'm more like Old Testament, and I'm like that's actually written by God. I was like those are the first 10 commandments that.
The thing
you know
that
what I
tripped
mean?
me
Like,
out
it's like-
about that religion is they have an answer for everything. That's what tripped me out. That's the only thing that tripped me out. Like if you say anything, they have an actual answer for it.
Yeah, no, he sent me a couple videos. I try to because I try to keep my mind open to everything. Because who's to say anything's wrong or right? But
Last thing I'm gonna say about that though, these females were walking the other day, and I'm pretty sure they were Jehovah's Witnesses, and the small talk conversation was like, "You play basketball?" And I was like, Obviously.
You have a basketball. In
Yeah. I literally, I felt like a douche. I felt like a douche, right? And then they
You
looked
are
at.
a douche. Shut up.
I know, but look, they looked at each other and they go, "We have the exact same shoes." And
What?
yes, I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. And I went,
These are men's shoes.
I went, "That's cool." And I walked away and I was like, "Wow, that's the worst line I've ever heard in my life." Like, wow, dude. I was like, you have to be something that you wanted me to stop. You have to, because this is the weirdest interaction I've ever had in my life.
You know what I'm really scared of? Honestly, have you ever seen Get Out?
That maybe they're aliens and they're just being integrated into society
Listen,
and they don't know how to interact.
Have you ever seen Get Out?
There are aliens at the border.
Yeah.
I'm just playing, bro.
Those are my people. Those are my people, all right? I'm hurt. How would you feel, bro? How'd you feel if all those people were black and not Mexican? At the
They
border?
are.
You would still call them alien?
Yeah, I mean,
Cap.
that's the
Cap.
politically correct.
You know what? This is another thing. Let's get into this topic. No, I'm
Okay,
just
here we
kidding. We
go.
just go into race or something. Make it real dramatic.